You think you've seen chaos? You think you've witnessed brutality? What happened this week on WWE programming wasn't just another match, it was a collision between two unstoppable forces that left the entire wrestling world questioning everything they thought they knew about dominance. The Beast met his successor, and what transpired in that ring, changed everything. Right now, millions of people are scrolling past this video. Don't be one of them, because by the time we reach the end of this breakdown, you're going to understand why the landscape of professional wrestling just shifted on its axis. And I need you with me on this journey. If you're ready to witness something that'll make your jaw hit the floor, do me one favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Not because I'm begging you, but because moments like these don't come around often, and when they do, you deserve to be first in line. SlamZone is where we break down the moments that matter, where we dig deeper than anyone else, and trust me when I say you're going to want to be part of this family after what I'm about to show you. The tension had been building for weeks. Bron Breakker, the second-generation powerhouse, the man who carries the lineage of the legendary Steiner brothers in his veins, has been on an absolute rampage through WWE. Every opponent who stepped in front of him hasn't just been defeated, they've been demolished, broken, left in pieces for the medical staff to collect. This isn't some young upstart trying to make a name. This is a wrecking ball in human form, a man who moves with the speed of a cruiserweight but hits with the force of a semi-truck. His spear, and you've seen it, doesn't just knock the wind out of his opponents. It looks like it separates their soul from their body. But here's where the story gets interesting. There's only been one man in WWE history who carried that same aura of invincibility. One man who made veterans tremble. One man whose very presence changed the atmosphere in any building he entered. Brock Lesnar. The Beast incarnate. The Conqueror. The man who ended the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. The man who's held championships across multiple promotions and made it look effortless. For over 2 decades, Brock Lesnar has been the measuring stick of dominance in professional wrestling. Now imagine these two forces on a collision course. The established monster versus the rising destroyer. The Beast versus the future. And what we witnessed wasn't just a confrontation, it was a preview of Armageddon. The Raw episode opened with an electricity you could cut with a knife. The crowd knew something was brewing. You could see it in their faces, hear it in the murmur that rolled through the arena like distant thunder. Bron Breakker had been scheduled to address the WWE Universe, and everyone watching knew that when Breakker grabs a microphone, someone's night is about to get a whole lot worse. He stood in that ring with the confidence of a man who's never known defeat, muscles coiled like steel cables, eyes scanning the crowd with that predatory intensity that's become his trademark. His words cut through the arena. He wasn't here to play games, he wasn't here to shake hands and kiss babies. He was here to establish one simple truth: the future of WWE runs through him, and anyone who doesn't recognize that is living in denial. The crowd ate it up. Some cheered, some booed, but everyone was locked in. Because love him or hate him, you cannot look away from Bron Breakker. He has that magnetism, that it factor that separates good wrestlers from future legends. And just when you thought his message was delivered, just when it seemed like he'd said his piece and would leave the ring to prepare for his next victim, that music hit, you know the one. The sound that makes your heart skip a beat no matter how many times you've heard it. The entrance that signals someone's about to get their head taken off. Brock Lesnar's music shattered through the arena like a gunshot, and the entire building erupted. The camera caught it perfectly, Bron Breakker's expression shifting from confident to something else. Not fear, because men like Breakker don't know fear, but recognition, respect. The acknowledgement that he was about to come face to face with the man he's been compared to for months. Lesnar appeared at the top of the ramp, and even through your screen, you could feel the weight of the moment. Paul Heyman wasn't with him. This wasn't about promos or advocate speeches. This was personal. Lesnar moved down that ramp with purpose, and with every step, the tension multiplied. The crowd was absolutely unglued, on their feet, screaming themselves hoarse because they understood they were watching history unfold. When Lesnar slid into that ring, the atmosphere changed. It was like watching two apex predators circle each other in the wild. Neither man backed down. Neither man blinked. They stood nose to nose in the center of the ring, and you could see the jaw muscles working, see the intensity radiating off both of them in waves. Breakker spoke first, and what he said sent shockwaves through social media within seconds. He told Lesnar that the era of the Beast was over, that there's a new monster in WWE, and his name is spelled Brakker. He said that Lesnar's legacy meant nothing to him, that championships and WrestleMania moments were just memories, and memories don't win fights. The disrespect was palpable. The audacity was breathtaking, and Brock Lesnar smiled. Not a friendly smile. The kind of smile that says, you just made the worst mistake of your life. The kind of smile that veteran wrestling fans recognize as the calm before the storm. Lesnar stepped back, rolled his shoulders, and before anyone could process what was happening, he shoved Breakker hard in the chest. Not a slap. Not a warning. A full force shove that sent Breakker stumbling backward into the ropes. The crowd lost their minds. Here it was. The moment everyone had been anticipating. Breakker bounced off those ropes like a cannonball, charging at Lesnar with bad intentions, but the Beast was ready. What followed was a rapid-fire exchange of strikes, blocks, and power moves that had the audience gasping with every collision. These weren't worked punches, these were two men testing each other, feeling each other out, and neither giving an inch. Halfway through, I need to pause and ask you something. Are you feeling this? Are you locked in? If this is hitting different for you, if you're getting that same adrenaline rush that I got watching it live, then do yourself a favor, smash that like button right now and drop a comment below telling me who you think would win in a full match between these two. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? SlamZone brings you breakdowns like this every single week, and I promise you we're just getting started with this story. The officials flooded the ring, trying to separate these two juggernauts, but it was like trying to stop a tsunami with a chain link fence. Referees bounced off them like pinballs. Security personnel got shoved aside like they were made of paper. Lesnar managed to lock Breaker in a waistlock, attempting to German suplex him straight to the Shadow Realm, but Breaker's base was too strong, his power too immense. He blocked it, threw back an elbow that caught Lesnar clean on the jaw, and the crack of impact echoed through the arena. The two were finally separated, dragged to opposite corners, but the damage was done. The message was sent. This wasn't over. This was just the opening chapter of what promises to be an all-out war. As Lesnar was escorted up the ramp, he kept his eyes locked on Breaker, pointing at him with that signature intensity that's intimidated dozens of WWE superstars over the years. But Breaker didn't flinch. He stood in that ring, chest heaving, and pointed right back. The visual alone was worth the price of admission. But we're not done. Because while Raw delivered that explosive confrontation, SmackDown brought its own brand of drama with the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. The head of the table has been navigating treacherous waters lately, and this week's episode reminded everyone why he's been the most dominant champion in modern WWE history. Roman's segments have evolved into psychological masterclasses. He doesn't just beat opponents physically, he breaks them mentally first. This week, we saw him address his challengers with that commanding presence that's become his trademark. The crowd's reactions to Roman are fascinating, a mixture of respect, resentment, and recognition that they're watching one of the greatest runs in WWE history. His promos feel less like wrestling segments and more like a CEO addressing shareholders, explaining why every decision he makes is the right one, why every person who's challenged him has failed. What struck me most was the way Roman spoke about legacy, about what it means to be at the top for over 3 years, the psychological weight he's carrying, the pressure of being the standard bearer for an entire brand. But he doesn't crack. He doesn't stumble. He stands there with those titles, with the acknowledgement of millions, and dares anyone to take it from him. The tribal chief continues to rule SmackDown with an iron fist, and every week, that grip gets tighter. The real question burning through the WWE universe right now is this: what happens next? Where do we go from here? The Lesnar Breaker situation isn't resolved, it's just beginning. When these two finally get a sanctioned match, it's going to be absolute carnage. The kind of match that gets talked about for years. The kind of match that defines careers and creates legends. This is what wrestling is supposed to feel like. This electricity, this uncertainty, this genuine excitement about what comes next. We're not watching replays of the same tired formulas. We're watching evolution in real time. Bron Breakker is proving he belongs in the conversation with the all-time greats, and Brock Lesnar is reminding everyone that the beast has plenty left in the tank. Before we wrap this up, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. SlamZone exists because of passionate wrestling fans like you who want more than surface-level coverage. If this breakdown resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and become part of our family. Share this video with your wrestling friends. Let's get the conversation started. Comment below with your predictions, your reactions, your thoughts on where this incredible story goes next. The wrestling world just got infinitely more interesting. Two monsters are on a collision course, and when they finally collide without officials pulling them apart, without constraints, without anyone to stop them, we're all going to witness something special. This has been SlamZone, and I'll see you in the next breakdown. Stay passionate, stay hungry, and never stop believing in the magic of this incredible sport we all love.